Hey guys, this week for my daily content consumption, I had a specific category that I kind of immersed my mind in. I watched a lecture series by Dr. Sadler, who is a professor at Fayetteville State University. FSU has a ton of content on their YouTube channel, and Dr. Sadler alone has almost 30 of his videos on the channel. I made a YouTube video and a blog post on the content that I consumed each day, and I'll put all the links down below this video for those if you want to check them out. But I did want to continue doing this weekly update just so I can make sure that I'm seeing these things and using them and figuring out how to use them in the real world instead of just learning them on the screen and leaving them there. So in this video, I want to give you a little bit of context behind some of Dr. Sadler's videos and a lot of what goes into them. And then after that, I want to dive into a specific logical fallacy that I think we see all the time, but maybe don't even recognize. So in Dr. Sadler's videos, he talks a lot about arguments and the different ins and outs of arguments. But it's important for us, I think, to understand what is an argument. The way that Dr. Sadler explains this in the first video that I watched was kind of explaining the difference between a claim and an argument, where a claim is just a standalone claim. That's what you're saying. You're stating it more. An argument is a claim that's made up of at least one other claim supporting it. Or in other words, a conclusion that is led to by several claims or proofs going to it. A very simple example of this would be, say I want my conclusion to be there is a tree outside this window. I might use some claims like, when I walked in that door 10 minutes ago, there was a tree outside this window. No one has come to chop it down in the last 10 minutes. Therefore, there's a tree outside the window. So that's an argument. I have a conclusion that I wanted you to come to, and I had several claims supporting that. In the videos that I watched, Dr. Sadler was talking about a certain kind of argument. And this argument is what is called a logical fallacy in an argument. And the way that he defines fallacy is that a fallacy is a bad argument of a certain kind. And there are literally over 100 different ones of these fallacies, which blew my mind when I went into it. But he just focuses on a few, and I just want to focus on one. But this might be one of the most common fallacies that is used today. This fallacy is called the AdHominem. And this is when, instead of addressing a claim or an argument, you attack the person. An example of this that I gave in one of my earlier videos was, think about this. Kim Kardashian claims that the world is flat. Kim Kardashian is a moron, therefore the world is not flat. So what have I done? I've attacked the person, and therefore I think that it discredits the claim that she's making, or the argument that's there. But watch this. I'll reverse that. Kim Kardashian claims that there are starving children in Africa. Kim Kardashian is a moron, therefore there are no starving children in Africa. So now I've reversed it, and it doesn't work anymore because there are starving children in Africa, but that same logic that I was using just a second ago no longer works. A big place that you see this, I think, is in politics. So somebody that I can think of right off the top of my head is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is hated by a lot of people because of the character and the things that he's done. And because of that, almost anything that he puts into policy or tries to do, people will attack. They don't even care what it is, but they just don't like Donald Trump, and so they attack it. And I love what Ben Shapiro says on this subject.
If you're a conservative, aren't you really Team Trump?
Well, it depends on what. So what I've called myself is sometimes Trump. Okay, people have said there's never Trump and then there's always Trump. Sometimes Trump, meaning that when he does something that I like, I cheer, and when he does something that I hate, which happens, then I boo. And I'm booing as loudly as you are when he does something that's really bad.
So I love what Ben Shapiro says here, that he bases it off the individual claims or decisions of what happens. He doesn't just say, Donald Trump has bad character, therefore everything he does must be bad. He looks individually at what happens because, in truth, a good person can have bad claims and a bad person can have good claims. It goes both ways, and nobody is immune from this kind of thinking. We also have to realize that this isn't only done in politics. We do this in our everyday lives. How often do you have somebody who maybe they just really annoy you? So anything they say, any advice they give or claim they make, you just instantly discredit because, oh, that person is dumb or that person has no intellect. Therefore, they can't possibly be right. Even take it into the workplace. You may have a boss that seems totally corrupt or a coworker who seems completely incompetent. listen to what they say and look for evidence in each claim. Look for evidence for it, look for evidence against it. You still look for the evidence against it, but don't just simply discredit it because they're a bad person. Because after all, a broken clock is right twice a day.